Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to another premiere draft of Edge of Eternities. This is another early access event, so thank you very much to Wizards of the Coast for providing me with the promotional early access token. Without further ado, let's get into the brand new format. We got a very fun looking bomb rare here, the Singularity Rupture. 3 a blue and double black to destroy all creatures, and then any number of target players each mill half their library rounded down. This is a very rude card. Board wipes always tend to be pretty reasonable in draft, as you know when you have a board wipe in your hand, so you can play around it a bit, make sure you don't overcommit to the board, and try to use this to flip the game in your favor. So that seems pretty fun. I also think like a blue-black control deck could be a pretty fun one to draft here. There's a lot of great removal in this set and some good blue draw spells, so this could send us down a pretty fun direction. That said, this pack looks bad for blue and black. There's a combat trick, a filler lifelinker, and a filler flyer. There's really nothing towards the blue-black control deck. We can take a little bit of ramp and fixing for it with the All Fates scroll, or we could take the terrain generator. If I play only 2 colors, this could potentially let me dump any extra lands in my hand onto the board early and ramp up as well. So that's kind of interesting. I feel like the best cards here are very much not blue and black. It's like the Galactic Wayfarer for that lander token, maybe green, black, splash blue, that helps fix us. Or these uncommons are reasonable in aggressive red and white decks. But I kind of agree with the auto suggester there. I'll speculate on the Wayfarer. Maybe green, black, splash the blue. Pick 3, another pack I'm not super happy with after the pack 1 pick 1 Singularity Rupture. The best card in blue or black is probably Virus Beetle, and that's just solid. Scrounge for Eternities interesting, could be good. It's pretty decent value. If you're sacking something like a Virus Beetle or like a Lander token, obviously that's pretty good. But the better cards are the red removal spell and the white removal spell. The white removal spell is one that's on a stick. It's a 4 mana 2/3 creature, and you exile your opponent's best non-assassin, but it's also got some fun flexibility. If you warp in a very big creature, you can warp this in to flicker that creature and keep it out permanently for a much cheaper cost. So I like the All Fate Stalker. I think it's got a lot of powerful flexibility to it. So we'll take that there. And it looks like we're probably just going to get cut off of blue or black here. There's no good blue draw, no good black removal. 4 picks in. So probably not going to be a Singularity Rupture deck, sadly. But we've got a great white card. We got a real solid green card. Still a decent start to the draft. This pack's not super good. Again, I think I probably just take Invasive Maneuvers. Cheap removal. Broodguard Elite could also be okay. It's like a weird sorcery to put X+1/+1 counters on a creature in your end step, but then also you get to play a big XX the turn after. Seems pretty solid, but I'll just take the maneuvers and stay open here and get a removal spell in a bunch of different colors. Pick 5. A mid-blue creature. I feel like these red creatures look the best. The Keveron Harrier. If your opponent doesn't have creatures on board, this slams for 4 damage on turn 2. The quickest ways to get a lot of damage in early. Faithful's fun, because if you attack with a 1/1, they block with a 5/5, you can finish it off with this. But you can also destroy your own creature to draw to, like if you have a 1/1 Virus Beetle or something on the board, so that's interesting. But I don't think we're ending up blue-black the way this draft has gone so far, so I'll take the Harrier. Well, we get the blue-black uncommon, which honestly isn't that good. 3 mana, draw 2, discard 2. Or draw 2, discard 1 artifact, and then it's just like a 2/3 that only has Death Touch during your turn. I mean, it's fine. It's reasonable. I just wish it had Death Touch at all times. Because blue-black feels like the kind of deck that really wants to be blocking like a big creature with that, rather than attacking. Still probably the best card over the Moxite here, getting deeper into red. But I'm not going to give that pick too much weight towards blue-black. Yeah, pick 7. We can just go right back to taking red spells, it looks like. We got a Moxite, we got a Remnant Elemental. This is like a 2 mana 2/4 on attacks, and with lander tokens, you can even block with this and maybe get some damage in. Maybe actually kill a 2/2 flyer. Pick 8 looks pretty bad all around. Guess there's Enhancer for like green-white plus one counters. Maybe we end up in red-white because we have this Stalker. Pick 9. 2 mana 2/2 when it dies, put a +1/+1 counter on another creature. It's the worst that card could be. That's pretty decent. Pick 10. No respect for terrain generator. Maybe it's not actually good in draft because you need extra lands just sitting in your hand. It doesn't actually like ramp you. It's just putting lands that you've already drawn into play. Not getting you any more lands, but still it could randomly help you cheese out something big a little bit early. It's both fine. Leather Breaking is not very good in aggressive decks, but I think it can be quite good if you're a splashy controlling deck. Pack 2, pick 1. Rust Harvester is the rare. 1 mana, 1/1 menace. 2 mana tap, exile a card from your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Oh my god. There have to be artifact cards in your graveyard, but the first time you activate this, deal 2 to any target. And then if you activate it a second time, 3 to any target. It's a bunch of little burn removal spells on a stick. So we want to take cheap artifacts that end up in the grave really highly. But if you have them, this card can shred little stuff off the board. Pack 2, pick 2. Couple cards into black, so this could be Voidforged Titan. I don't think it's super hard to trigger Void every turn, and if you are triggering Void every turn, this is a 5/4 that draws you an extra card every single turn, which is really strong. But we are also pretty deep onto red, so we could take the aggressive red top end here that buffs your whole board. Or, because we just took a card that really wants a ton of artifacts, with the Rust Harvester, take the blue card towards blue-red artifacts. I have to take a drink in between picks here. There's a lot of options. I'm going to go Team Leader. We're really deep into red. Pack 2, pick 3. Gravkill towards Rakdos. This is flexible. 2 mana bounce a non-land permanent. And if you bounce an attacking creature, also get a 1/1 flyer. Does feel pretty strong. Like, granted, I don't have a single mono blue card right now, or it's playing blue-red, but I'm not that deep into any color outside of red. 3 cards deep at maximum. Some of those cards are pretty filler. Memorial Vault is cute, but probably just really slow. I'm going to speculate on going towards blue-red artifacts. It feels like one of the best spots to be playing this Rust Harvester. Like, here's a cheap artifact end up in our grave. A little bit hard to take that over a great removal spell like Tractor Beam, though. It shuts off whatever creature or spacecraft you need it to shut off, and if that one happens to have a static ability or a triggered ability, like our Memorial Team Leader, then the fact that we steal it and put it on our board is actually relevant, so I like Tractor Beam. Pick 5. Station 3 is not that hard to do, but this is a really bad draw if you don't have any creatures on board. But only 3 power, and then boom, you got a 6/5 flying haste. Feels reasonable. Also auxiliary boosters. If we end up in Boros, I've died to this card a lot. That's probably better than Saw Ship. It's speculative because we know that we're in red, but we don't know if we end up in Boros or blue-red here. Scour for Scrubs. It's not going to be good unless I have an artifact engraved, but if I do, it's decent. Still feels narrow enough to take like the self-craft mechan or something here. Artifact Sacker. Here's a Plasma Bolt. Cheap removal against cheap creatures. In our main color. Pick 8. Here's a 2-mana artifact creature to end up in the grave. It also ramps into our other stuff. Although Lost in Space doesn't look bad either. Cryo Shatter looks decent. Whenever enchanted creature becomes tapped or is dealt damage, destroy it. And -5/-0 makes it pretty irrelevant immediately. Could try to play the 7-drop. Spacecraft Finisher. I already have a little bit of ramp. Mechanozoa. Take that here. I think I'm going to lock in on blue-red artifacts and see how well that plays for us. More than anything, I want cheap artifacts that die at this point. So come on. That's not a bad one. Not too hard to station it. Surveils when it enters to try to fill the grave. This could work. This could be the kind of card we're looking for. Alright, pack 3, pick 1. No cheap artifacts that die quickly. Oh god, that's terrible in draft. I guess Shieldmate will probably die quickly. Gotta play a lot of artifacts for that. I could splash in the Wildcat Captain. 6 mana 4/4 double strike vigilance. That's pretty gnarly. I just need lander tokens to do that. I actually don't have any lander tokens yet, so it's probably not happening. I guess I'll try the Shieldmate over the 6-drop thing. You know what? No. I've been impressed by the Landseeker quite a bit. Whoa. Oh, I wanted to see the special artwork. Okay, I guess it'll just tell us what it does. 2 mana, +1/+3, 1 to equip. You can phase the creature out to keep it out. All right, cool. Crazy artwork on that. Crazy artwork on that. I like Desculpting Blast a lot. Taking another one of that. I like Intimidator too, though. I feel like this is basically a 2 mana 4/3, because lander tokens are quite valuable. So it's pretty rough for your opponent if they just give you the 2 lander tokens. 2 mana 4/3 is also just kind of wild. I'll take Intimidator. Pick 3. Do not have the instants and sorceries for this card. I have 1 Plasma Bolt and 1 Desculpting Blast. I wish I did, because that could be so good. But a cheap artifact creature that trades off early gives us some draw and discard to fill the grave too. Looks like exactly what we need to get Rust Harvester to be nasty. We got the Signpost uncommon, get a +1/+1 counter whenever we're playing an artifact. Seems very good. I also think the Intimidator is very good, but fill out the 3-drop slot on the curve and get a great synergy piece. Pick number 5, another Landseeker puts an artifact on the board for our minion. Or the cheap little counter spell. Take the Landseeker. Pick 6. 3 mana 3/2. Whenever it becomes tapped, untap somebody else. Or 1 mana 1/2 that can sack our lands in the late game to draw cards. Probably one of the artifact things here. I think I agree. We'll take the 1-drop. Oh my god, okay. Well, this deck really came together in the final pack. Got 2 of the Signpost uncommons. That was pretty lucky. Multiple 1-drop artifacts to get stuff out really early. Alright. This deck doesn't look super strong, but at least it has some good synergy now. 5 pieces of interaction. This looks reasonable. Again, maybe the weakest deck we've drafted so far. It's also a small ball, and there's some huge threats in the late game in this format. It's pretty devoid of any bomb rares or anything like that. But we'll see. Maybe just quick little curve outs could get there. I could see going 1-drop, 2-drop, attack both, play War Rager on 3, being a pretty hard to beat curve. taking damage from all these cheap creatures. And then buffing up the 3-drop there. We'll see. This is the lowest curve deck I've drafted all set long so far, all format long. So I might actually be on a 16-lander with this. And terrain generator is just a lot worse when you just are going to be running less lands in the first place and not really caring about hitting the super high mana value stuff super early. The breaking doesn't make a ton of sense for this deck. Nor does the Mechanizoa with like 3 cards it can recast. 2 more cuts. Don't really get much Remnant Elemental synergies. 3 operatives is a lot. Elemental's probably still better than operatives. Let's go 1 operative, 1 elemental here. All right. Really aggressive blue-red deck here, really low curve. We'll have to see if we can aggro out some quicker decks and just pile on for enough damage to kill them before they resolve their super big, scary spacecraft. We'll have to see. Very interesting one. And see exactly how quick we can be as we hop into the gameplay. Mono red opener is a little bit awkward, but we have a great turn 2 and turn 4 play no matter what we draw. I think I have to keep this. But it's definitely on the borderline. It's not a great opener. Our opponent starts with the Lander token in their green deck, so they can ramp and fix into whatever color they need. And because they're on the play, if they crack that immediately, they're on 4 mana while I'm on 2. But here we go. We find the Terror Pact Intimidator to potentially get some Lander tokens. I think I still have to lead with the Elemental to keep their attacks off of me here. Because if I play Intimidator, they can just make it a 4-3 and then attack with a 3-3 Expansionist. I guess because the Lander token, if I block, they can also just use that. So that's particularly rough. Kind of get the attack in either way. Another blue spell, that is awkward. Okay, if they don't ramp again, then the Elemental gets to hold them off. Give me the Landers. I will absolutely take that. That feels like straight profit to me. There's an Inquisitor. Make one of my cards cost 1 more. Sure. Choose one of the 4 drops because I'm not playing them for a long time anyway. I'm going to start tutoring out blue mana next turn. Ten mana, sack it, deal 3 to a target, draw 3, and gain 3. It's actually only 8 mana for that. And it's got hexproof, so I can't stop them from doing... This card looked so filler, I didn't even read it in any of the drafts. Now that it has hit the board, I'm like, wait a second. Deal 3 to something, draw 3, and gain 3. I mean, it's slow, but so is this set. That seems like a real Magic card that I have been undervaluing. Hit the blue source here. I don't have any great blocks for this Elemental. The ability to double crack here. Okay. Landseeker, 5 mana next turn. I have to spend 2 on one of the landers at that point, but I can do that and play like a navigator. Yeah, if you've used lander tokens to get like 5 different basics with this, then this is 5 mana, deal 3, draw 3, gain 3. Inquisitor's annoying, but it doesn't actually really matter here. Because I'm just doing 4 mana worth of plays next turn, so now I'll just do 5 mana worth of plays. 3 mana for this, 2 for my token. I have 6 out of 8 mana for the Mechan. I'm playing a 2-1 blocker. I'll have 2 2-1s on the board ready to block. Let's crack back for 5. I mean, the 2-1s I can block this thing, so the only thing that really gets in is the 2-3. Which maybe hits for 3. Yeah, I can send him, I think. This looks profitable. Okay. Still profit. We take that. I think we're enough ahead here. There's only 2 things that can go super wrong. One is that they can draw a great rare, and that's a pretty good one. The other, more likely, is that they just get to 8 mana. This is Mechan puts in a lot of work at that point. Okay. Cryo Shatter the blocker here to win the race pretty easily. One mana from playing both these. Yep. Or 3 Menace is such a stat line on this board. Yeah, there's the concession from our opponent. We get there for game 1, 1-0 heading into game 2. All right, here we are on the play for game number 2. We get a bit of a curve out. I get to play a 1-drop and a 2-drop, but they're both 1-power creatures, so this is not the scariest opener. We need to draw some other action to really do much. And our opponent is going to be ramping up, starting with a Gene Pollinator. Green-blue can ramp into some real big stuff in the late game. Star Breach Whale, just get a Surveil, ready to play a 3/5 flyer later. I'm going to be pretty disappointed if I just have to start sacking lands early, but at least I have the Scrapper to do so. If I draw land next turn, that genuinely might be the play. Okay. Should be a pretty reasonable draw. That'll be my actual attacker here. I don't think I should sack a land just yet. I do have the mana to do it. Sack a mountain, draw a card. I don't have anything in the deck that costs more than 6, but I could want a double spell in a turn. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get really aggressive sacking lands. Find a land seeker. And guess what the land seeker has seeked out? A land. You'd never believe it. Bounce the elemental and get a 1/1 themselves. You got it. Here's Landseeker. The 4/3 menace has arrived. I've played a game and a half. This is already the biggest overperformer. When I've had opponents played against me and it's been pretty good consistently, but actually playing with the card, I'm like, man, 4/3 menace is a stat line, isn't it? I could let this lander token die so that I can play Elemental and Mechanozoa here. Get as aggressive as possible. It is almost definitely better to just draw the card. Because if I stun something with Mechanozoa right now, all I'm really accomplishing is hitting for like 1 more point of damage. Because Landseeker's already not getting blocked by the whale. Yeah, I should just play the Remnant Elemental here. We've hit the double blue for these two, which is obviously quite important. Actually, double blue was probably important enough there. I shouldn't have cracked it just to draw a card. I should have actually tutored the land. But it worked out anyway. There's their Wayfarer to ramp up themselves. Pass holding up a ton of blockers. Land for the Elemental. Mechanozoa for the Whale. I could see Warp the Mechanozoa just for the stun trigger and hold up invasive maneuvers. It's being reasonable there too. Take the 1/1 trade, clear a little bit of stuff out here. Help clear the path for the 5/5. And they ramp up with the lander. Whatever they play here, whatever creature they play, I want it to have a really good triggered or passive ability. Static ability is the technical term. That has none of those. I'm going to tractor beam a scan ship. I guess if I do, then I'll have a spacecraft on the board for invasive maneuvers to be 5 damage instead of 3. So I could like tractor beam a spacecraft and then also maneuvers the whale. That's something. They play a land, 3 cards left in their hand. Casting a 4-drop here by tapping the scan ship to the pollinator? No, they're just stationing. With the 1/1 that can't block right now anyway. Oh, War Rager's good here. I'll definitely have the cards on board for that. I could also spend 7 and give somebody +4/+0, but it's definitely better to play another creature. Boop, boop. 1, 2, 3. Hold up the mana so I have 4 up. 1, 2, 3. And then with 4 up, I can use maneuvers and scrapper if I need to. That seems reasonable. This is probably just bouncing off the 1, 2 anyway. I guess I could attack with both to get 1 more damage in, but I like having this ability in case they have removal from Mechanizoa. And that also makes having exactly 4 extra mana relevant here. That's interesting. I can sack this to draw a card. But if I don't sack it, I'm just going to draw a Mechanizoa next turn. And Mechanizoa would be a pretty good top deck. That might be worth not drawing an extra card to know that I'm top decking Mechanizoa specifically. Problem with that, I guess the problem either way is that now I'm not going to have 2 tapped creatures. I think I just want to draw a Mechanizoa. I'm just going to keep that. You know what I can do that is quite rude? One mana off. I was going to say that I could play Rager and then also draw Mechanizoa and cast it. I would need 5 mana. But yeah, I could do the Warp Mechanizoa this turn instead of playing War Rager. I think that's probably not worth it. We'll just get a 3/4 onto the board immediately and have the enter effect of Mechanizoa coming up next turn. -3/-0 until your next turn. The 6/6 ward 2. Jesus. Okay. I probably have to tractor beam that. Station's huge for the scan ship. I guess I have 0 power on board here, so they don't have to hold the blocks up. And that's big damage. Wow, that was really strong here. Mouth of the Storm. Probably going up in my pick order. So I'm going to play a Mechanizoa and stun like the 4/4 now. It's really not doing it. Take 9 in the sky, 10 because the drone as well. I don't have a spacecraft out, so all I can kill is a 1/1 or a pollinator here. Can tractor beam and spend 2 and take the mouth, take 8. I think they might have got me here. I don't see any great lines here. Yes, I can tractor beam the ship and kill the whale, but they still have 8 power in the sky. And I'm setting up to Mechanizoa the Mouth of the Storm later as the plan. That's probably what I'm doing. Do this all while they're tapped out. Oh boy. I should keep the reach blocker up for Sure. Oh, this counts as one of my tapped creatures. I only need to send one random dwarf in here. So I could keep my one red up and pretend it's something and just attack with this. Oh shoot, I actually do have a synergy. I was dumb the whole time. I actually do get value. I can just sacrifice the scan ship to draw a card. Even if I don't get a good static ability out of it, the scrapper can still sack it. Still put it to use that way. Go to 7. Fungal Colossus is a big one. I have to pay the ward here to hit the mouth, so I can't hardcast Mechanozoa yet. Need to warp. I mean, I guess I could hardcast Mechanozoa if I play land and tap out, but being able to do this twice feels quite relevant. Do you have any 1-mana plays? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 1-mana red cards I could draw and 1 1-mana blue card. Okay. Tap the blue then. That is not relevant. Pass and get a counter. I like that a 3-drop has ended up bigger than this Colossus at this point. No! Oh, that's so strong. They have a 6-power attack now. I have to chump. Because if I block that, I take 7 and die. Oh man, alright, well, that's game. Assembler 2, and just lands for me. Alright. GG. 1-1 heading to game 3. Alright, here we are on the play for game 3. This is a really good opening hand. We get the meme jellyfish. What's awkward about this is it's a 2-lander, which makes it really tempting to just start with the mana dork, but if I start with the mana dork, I don't get the +1/+1 counter off of playing that as an artifact. I think I still just need to make sure I'm hitting my mana. So we'll play the Zookeeper. Playing against Rakdos. They depressurize the Zookeeper. Tragic. So just make sure I don't hit my lands. Well, here's an operative. That is 3 draw steps of no lands. Brutal. Kill the lifelinker. We are never getting anywhere trying to race that. My only alternate line is to play a single 2/1. And that 2/1 is also an artifact, which is relevant to try to keep for later. It's also a 1-mana play, so it helps me double spell with the operative. There's multiple reasons to try to play other stuff than the operative first. Alright, we hit land 3 on our turn 5 here, actually, I think at this point. This might be, this is just turn 4? Yeah, this is just turn 4. It just took us all 4 draw steps to get it. Wait, no, I think we were on the play. So I think it's actually turn 5 right now. Because they haven't missed a land. This is their turn 4. If we were on the play, then this is our turn 5. Discard War Rager to the Virus Beetle. And there's the Zealot, that's 4 power. Say hello to Wormwall Sweeper. It's a weird choice not to fully, I guess, because I have a 2-1 out, but I have 2 different ways to make sure it has 2 toughness here. Do I have artifacts in my grave yet? I've got an artifact creature in my grave. Harvest some rust. Oh man, I could put the counters on the Rust Harvester. That's kind of sick, but it only needs 2 power to kill something next turn. Chump Surveil. All right. They need removal for the Rust Harvester, or it's going to start going absolutely crazy this game. I guess I only have 1 artifact engraved right now, but in theory, we have the Legends to keep putting more counters onto it. And a cheap artifact to play. Send in the Sweeper. Fair, I'll kill the Landseeker then. Harrier's quite good with the Legend. Oh, they missed a Zealot sack there, missed a Surveil. Tiny bit of bonus value for me. There's a Pangolin. Big Defender. It's a nice combo. They can sack the lander to surveil 1 if they don't have the mana to toy around with it anyway. Okay. This Legend has been awesome, and it's going to continue to be great here with this trigger. Give this 3 power so they don't get any free kill on it, and if they go for any kill, then I have another artifact engraved to kill another one of their cards. Kill the Zealot here. Probably kill the Zealot here. Pangolin's a reasonable option too. And now I just have like a 4/4 menace to just start bashing with, now that I'm out of artifacts engraved. That's aggro, you got it. Go to 15. Play Sky Warden, just a 4/5 reach. Non-land permanent left the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on this card. So it doesn't have relevant abilities if I steal it, but I still kind of just need the blocker out of the way, I think. Sure. We are way ahead on board, and they're playing off the top, and we have 3 extra cards in hand. This game feels just incredible. The Dream Team Wombo combo here. They found removal for Rust Harvester, but it did so much work already. I am very happy with that played out. With how that played out. That played out honestly even a little better than I thought it would. It looked pretty good when we drafted it, but we really hit the perfect cards for it this game. Little Death Toucher on blocks. They're not quite dead if they don't attack. But they're real close. Cryo Shatter. It's not gonna change anything really. Well, I guess, yeah, since that's a 5/5, I can't attack into it unless I Cryo Shatter. Yeah, I get to kill both by Cryo Shattering here. Kill both the creatures on the double block. I still lose the Land Seeker, though. That's what I mean by it not doing much. Either place I put it, I lose the Land Seeker, but if I put it on the Pangolin, I get to kill both of these at least. There we go. And then thanks to my random stunned Sky Warden, I actually will have 2 tapped creatures for the War Rager. Alright, there's the concession from our opponent. Very good stuff that game. We are 2-1 heading into game 4. Here we are for game 4 against Nikolai Bolas. Highly recommend his channel if you have not checked it out. Pretty similar stuff. He focuses on draft, but he does make a lot more nice little short form videos, like draft guides and tips and stuff. Very solid channel. Got a good curve here, but Nikolai's on a black deck, so very likely to be able to blow up this Intimidator quickly, so it's easy for him to just make it a 4/3 and blow it up with something soon. Intimidator, really, really strong card, though, because even if he can't just blow it up like the turn after I play it, he really doesn't have much of a choice but to make it a 4/3 because of how valuable the lander tokens are. He's got the Depressurize, but that's not enough to kill. The Intimidator can kill our uncommon, though. There's a Zookeeper. I cannot Void to Plasma Bolt that card, sadly, so this is just going to be a War Rager turn. Intimidator putting in work, just being a 2-mana 4/3, as it does. Void triggers off of just leaving the battlefield, so bouncing something does trigger Void. There's the Orbital Plunge on the 4/3. Sad day there. Navigator's good here. Sure, I'll just slam in and Plasma Bolt to finish off the Mechan. And have this Navigator for later. Keeping the land in hand to discard to Navigator. Sky Warden, big old reach blocker. Bounce that, draw a card, discard a card, and get a counter on the War Rager. Basically Time Walk Nikolai here. Find a second War Rager? What a draw. Exactly the mana to play that and get another +1/+1 counter on this board. The 5/4 is back to do some blocks, but we draw a Menacing Threat. Attack all, draw a card, discard a card, lose a 3/4 to put them to 3, get a counter on the other one, and they're at 3 life against a Lethal Menacer. Let's do it. Hit a Mechanozoa? I don't have this. If I had 6, Mechanozoa is probably better than Landseeker, but since I would only be warping it, I think Landseeker is actually better. If we drew that for turn, they'd have been dead this turn, so a little sad to draw it off Navigator instead. Nebula Dragon's huge as a stabilizer. Huge blocker plus kill one of my creatures. And we flood. Oh god, that's devastating. Genuinely brutal. Oh. I guess Mechanizoa could have done it. We would have warped, and then they Dragon Kill Navigator. This would be stunned, but then I go land Mechanizoa, and then both are stunned. And then hit for 4. Ah, oh, that sucks. Yeah, I guess Mechanizoa is better against removal that comes with a creature. Figured with the 4/3 menace there. Dead with removal. Even with removal? I guess they weren't. Man. Yeah, I think I punted this one. I actually should have just warped a Mechanizoa there, despite not getting rid of the Summoning Sickness there. Just a double stun would have been huge. Oh my god, yeah. And now just the mech and it's all gas over there and no gas over here. Oh, that's a shame. Lost this game to user error. Mechanizoa would have been the kill. Seven mana to activate. All gas, no brakes over there. Double Mechan? Single misplay just costs us monumentally there. That was like the only play of the game I think we could have done different, and that one play would have gotten the kill. Bummer. All right. Yeah, I mean, the way that I saw things was like, we're trying to lethal them literally next turn, so we want to get a creature down right now to get rid of the Summoning Sickness. But they only had one creature left there, so stunning their one creature and then having another stun for if they play another blocker the next turn, that would have been huge. I guess it is still the kind of thing where hindsight's 2020, right? Because even if I saw that line, that's gambling on top decking a land. If I do that and I don't top deck a land, I only had 5 mana at the time. So if I go for that and then I don't draw a land, then I just lose anyway, and then that's way worse than just picking Landseeker. If he doesn't have removal. Okay, no, yeah, the information we had at the time, I think it's wrong to say that that's a punt, because we didn't have 6 lands out next turn either. Like, I would have needed to top deck a basic to go Mechanizoa stun, draw a card, Mechanizoa stun the other creature on the next turn. We had no guarantee that we could even hardcast the Mechanizoa for another stun because we only had 5 lands. So it's just because I top decked land 6 that made it look like a punt, to where even I thought that was a punt for the rest of that game, but we had absolutely no guarantee of drawing the 6th land there, and if I didn't draw the 6th land, then Landseeker was infinitely better than picking Mechanizoa. It's just a shame we got that punished for that. With hindsight, knowing that we top deck land 6 right then, yes, I would have won the game if I kept Mechanizoa. But because it would do pretty much nothing if I didn't top deck the land, it actually, I think, was reasonable the way that I did it. It might have still been better with the information we had because, again, you take that coin flip. If we win that flip, we definitely win the game if we hit land 6. So I probably should have taken that gamble. Because it was stunning, the one blocker on the board for now. Man, brutal ending there. I think, though, it is the kind of play that looks so much more like a misplay than it was, though. Because, again, we had no way to know that we had land 6 on top. And if that card wasn't land 6, then that would not have been a particularly great keep anyway. All right, we are at the hour mark of this draft recording, so this will be the final game of Magic for today, win or lose. Got a fine start. The Operative's pretty good with the Plasma Bolt. A nice sheep play to try to double spell with. Playing against Sam Black again, one of the best drafters of all time. I believe they're a Hall of Famer as well. So one of the best Magic players of all time, period. But I'm pretty sure we beat them last time we played against them in this early access event. Get the Operative turn 2 with the double spell lined up for next turn. Flash in a Gale Blade. This card looks pretty impressive. 1 mana, 1/1 flash, flying, and you just sack it to draw a card later. It's like I can't bolt it or they just draw a card. Seems good. So let's warp then, because I don't want to bolt that. Or they're up a card with the bolt, and that's pretty bad for me. Warp for the double spell. A 4 damage swing here. Boom. Jump, draw a card. Jump, draw a card. Fair enough. Get to kill that without spending a card on it. They have 3 mana now. This definitely looks like we play Team Leader. Jam 6. And Sam Black cannot draw lands. I might not be able to beat Nikolai Bolas, but I can beat Sam Black. I'll take that. We're 50-50 against great drafters. Sure. Well, that is going to end this draft. That is over the 1 hour mark now. Happy to get another win with this deck. 3-2, at least a 50-50 run with this deck, no matter where it would go from here. This was a pretty fun one. I was concerned everything was so small ball in this deck that it would kind of just peter out and die in the late game, like we did against Nikolai. But technically in that game against Nikolai, we still had a chance of winning there, even with how much he stabilized in the end game. Had I kept Mechanizoa, it still would have been just fast enough to actually win that game. So it was impressively quick. I think this looks like a pretty fun archetype. Be interested in playing it some more, seeing how well it plays out in the grand scheme of things. I never drew the Sweeper. Doesn't look super good based on how these games played out. But again, Station 4 is really, really easy to hit. You just play a creature that's summoning sick anyway and get halfway there. Just playing a 2-3. It's like, well, I can't attack with it, so might as well get half of the station done. It also does play well with cards like War Rager that care about multiple tap creatures. So I don't know, it might have been okay. But that's the only card I don't think we got much experience with. I think we drew almost everything else. Loved the Rust Harvester. This is such a fun, powerful build around. Get a bunch of cheap artifacts into your deck to trade off and end up in the graveyard. If you can get any surveilling, like self-mill style plays, those would be awesome as well with it. This could be great in blue-red and great in Rakdos, where you can play cheap little Virus Beetle style cards and sacrifice those. Rust Harvester seems super, super strong. And I totally forgot we had it when I went into the gameplay. I was talking about how we have no bombs. Rust Harvester is really not a typical kind of bomb, a really small card that can use removal spells against little creatures. It's not that typical, I play it, giant effect happens and I win the game, but it is a really, really good, like, grinded out style bomb of, like, this can turn into a bunch of removal spells off just this one card. So that was really fun, really powerful. The coolest thing we had going for us, but the signpost uncommon was quite cool as well. Got some good counters going with that, some good synergy with that. The game where we drew it alongside the Rust Harvester was absolute Christmas land. Deck did a bit better than I thought it would for sure overall, even if it was just the average record here at 3-2. Cool stuff, cool stuff. I'm very excited for the set to come out though, and we will get into some full drafts. Since I'll be on my personal account, I'll have as much time as I want to draft the set instead of just this 24-hour time span to record. So we'll be doing full drafts, no cutoffs at the 1 hour mark, and that will start very soon. But for this draft in the early access event, that's going to do it. That is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe. Tell the YouTube algorithm to send us more in the recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.